Hey, what's up, VC? I'm back with another video after a long break. Said it before in other videos, I just have had a lot going on the last year or so, and I just haven't been in the situation to make a video. But I wanted to come back and make one. I plan to start making videos again very soon. I know I've said that several times and it hasn't happened, but I miss being a part of the VC. Still occasionally watch people's videos, but I just haven't really even had time to do that. But yeah, yesterday I bought a collection off of Craigslist. It's a pretty, in my opinion, epic collection. Um, I got some fantastic stuff, some stuff that I didn't even know was worth as much as it was, some stuff I didn't even know, and filled a couple holes in my collection, some stuff that I've been wanting, some stuff that I was on my want list. Um, so yeah, we'll go ahead and get right into it. Basically, this dude posted this collection. It was 189 records total. He wanted $250 for it. I messaged him saying I was very interested. He said somebody else had already, said they were coming, and I sent him a message and said, "Look, I'll give you 350. I'll give you 100 more than your asking price." And he said, "Okay, let's do it." So, you know, in a way, I kind of feel bad that I, bought him out from under the other dude that had already claimed him. But I mean, money talks. So yeah, and at 350 bucks, I made out like a bandit here. There's some killer stuff in here. So without further ado, we'll get right into it. Um, I don't really know where to start. I don't want to show everything. I'm not going to show 189 records. I already pulled about 120 of them that I'm getting rid of. I've already lotted them up and posted them here locally on Craigslist, and somebody's supposed to come get them this afternoon. But this collection was mainly classic rock and that type of stuff. A lot of albums I already had. Some were upgrades that I upgraded and then put my old copies in the box. Then there was some country and stuff like that. But yeah, so all that stuff's going. I'm only keeping what's in this box here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. And then down here is the stuff that I'm going to be selling. That's pretty rare stuff, in my opinion. So I'll go ahead and get right into the stuff that I'm keeping, or these first couple albums are albums I'm not sure about. I might keep. I'm going to give them listens. I've never heard these. It's in the volume of the book by the chapter of Acts. It's like a folk rock album, so I'm going to give that a chance. Ray Thomas from White Oaks. This is a promo copy. I know he was a member of the Moody Blues, if I remember correctly. So I like them. John McLaughlin, electric guitarist. Never really listened to much of his music, but I've heard people mention him. Famous musicians credit him as being an influence and stuff. So, yeah, and there's people on here like Jack Bruce is on one song, Stanley Clark, David Sanborn, names like that I recognize. So I'm sure it'll be like jazz stuff, which I like. Uh, then we got Carney by Leon Russell. This is somebody I've just never really listened to. I'm familiar with him in the sense that I know his name and I've seen his album covers before, but I've just never listened to anything, so I'm going to give that a listen. Michael Murphy, Peaks, Valleys, Honky Tonks, and Alleys. I don't know if I have this album. I looked and I couldn't find it, but it might be in a different box somewhere. And if I don't have it, I'll be keeping this. The Crusaders, Southern Comfort, they're a jazz band, actually from Houston, I believe, which is close to where I grew up. So that's cool. I have a couple of their albums already. And then we got Scratch by the Crusaders as well. This is a live album, so I'll probably keep that. Neil Larson, Jungle Fever. Don't know what this is, but it looked interesting. Tim Weisberg, Live at Last. I've heard his name, don't know who he is, so figured I'll just give that a listen. We got the Charlie Brown, Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown soundtrack, just going to keep that for shits and giggles, because I remember that movie as a kid. I used to love it. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Damn the Torpedoes. This is an iconic album that I've just never really heard, so I'm going to give this a listen. I do like Tom Petty. And then we have Foreigner Records. Might keep this. The cover's a bit rough. That was a thing with a lot of these records, is the records themselves were in nice condition, but some of the sleeves weren't. So yeah. And then we have a really nice copy of the Concert for Bangladesh, George Harrison. I have a couple copies of this, but this box is intact and my other copies aren't, so this is going to be my keeper for sure. Then we have a cool compilation, a little bit of country here. George Jones, Kenny Rogers in the first edition in Alabama. Love all three of those, especially George Jones. Everything's fallen. I need to reposition this. Tammy Wynette, Let's Get Together. Dolly Parton, Love Is Like a Butterfly. This was just an interesting mix of stuff. So like I said, it was a lot of classic rock, but there was a little country in there. And a little bit of gospel, which it seems like you find that in every collection you get. Then Chet Atkins, CGP, Stay Tuned. Love his guitar playing. Ronnie Milsap, Plain and Simple. Conway Twitty, I've already loved you in my mind. Didn't have this album, so keeping that for sure. Sweet Harmony by Maria Muldaur. I think that's how you say her name. It's just an album where there's different people playing on each song, and there's some pretty well-known names on here that I saw, so that'll be a keeper. Half Breed by Cher. One of my guilty pleasures. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but I love Cher. Then we got Buddy Rich, a different drummer. Of course, he's a jazz drummer, so that'll be cool. George Benson, Benson Burner. This is just a compilation, but I have several of his albums, and I love his guitar playing. And George Benson in Flight. So that was cool. And then on to the rock stuff. We got Focus, Moving Waves. This is more so like a prog album than just classic rock, but this is an album I've been looking for a while. Love this. So that was very cool to find. Heart, Little Queen. I already have a copy of this, but this is going to go in my collection as well because it's a Canadian copy. I always keep Canadian copies. I don't know why. I'm partial to Canadian copies. I love Canadian bands and all things Canada, even though I'm from the U.S. Then we have Heart. This is the half compilation, greatest hits, half live album. This one's in the shrink with the hype sticker in really nice shape. Then we have Heart, Bad Animals, an album I've been looking for forever. So that was really cool to find. Same thing with this one, like the Canadian stuff. Heart's 1985 album. This is one of my top 10 favorite albums of all time, and I have probably 5 or 6 copies already, so this will just be another copy to add, so you can never have enough copies of that album. Sammy Hagar, Standing Hampton. The cover is kind of beat, but the record's in nice shape, and I just didn't have that album. Then The Outfield, Play Deep. Everybody knows this album, I'm sure. Just one I've been looking for a while. It's pretty cool. Robert Plant, The Principle of Moments. Probably my favorite album by him because it has the song Big Log, which I've just always loved for whatever reason. So that was cool. And then Rush, Exit Stage Left, an album I didn't have. And Signals by Rush. This one's pretty beat, but I'm going to keep it as a filler for right now because I've been looking for a copy of this for forever. I don't know why I couldn't get that word out. Rush, A Show of Hands. I believe this is a live album. Not entirely sure, but happy to add that to the collection. Bon Jovi's self-titled album. One I didn't have. Slippery When Wet. Great album. Didn't have it. And one of my albums just fell. The Van Halen one. How ironic. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. I was very shocked to hear that, as I'm sure most people were. Then we got Subdivisions, the 12-inch single. And then on to some of the really killer stuff that I'm keeping. Talus, Sink Your Teeth Into That. This is, of course, just a good heavy metal hard rock band with Billy Sheehan, who went on to play with David Lee Roth. So that was a killer find. We got Dangerous Toys, their self-titled album. Yes, of course, everybody knows this album. Killer, 80s hair metal, and this one's in really nice shape. So it was cool to find. Joe Satriani, Surfing with the Alien. Great album. Before I go any further and show the really killer stuff, like I said, I paid $350 for everything, 189 albums total. It came out to like $1.80 something an album, so some of this stuff that I paid under $2 for is killer if you look at it that way. Then we have Iron Maiden, Peace of Mind. This one isn't in great shape. It's got some ring wear. It's got some light scratches and stuff. But the cool thing about this is it is a Venezuelan pressing. So that's cool. Worth a little bit by itself, but I'm going to hold on to it. Somewhere in Time, this one had the shrink on it, but it was just ripped, so I took it off. But it's a really clean copy of that. It's a club issue, but I can deal with that. Great album. Didn't have it. Then Power Slave, this one's in rough shape. The cover's in rough shape, but the album itself is actually really nice, and it plays great. So going to keep that as a filler for the time being. And we have Queensryche, The Warning. Didn't have that album. This one was an upgrade. Queensryche, Rage for Order. I had a copy of this before, but it was really scratched up and the cover was beat, so this is definitely an upgrade. So really happy to find that. And then one of the ones I saw in the pictures that made me say I need to get this collection is a copy of Queensryche Empire. Of course, their 1990 album. I love this album. Operation Mindcrime used to be my favorite Queensryche album. Queensryche. I couldn't say it. I don't know why. Anyway, Operation Mindcrime, killer album. Used to be my all-time favorite album, and it's kind of moved back a little the more I've gotten into other music. But now I have a hard time deciding whether or not I like this album more, because it's a great album as well, and this is an original UK pressing. So that was really cool, something I've been looking for a while. It was on my want list, so that was a huge want list knock right there. Then these last two, at least for the stuff I'm keeping, were killer finds. I saw these in the pictures as well. But they were kind of hidden, so I can only see part of them, so I didn't know if they were original or reissues. That's the thing, is from this collection there was a lot of like reissued stuff, and there was a lot of what looked like original 90s pressings of stuff, so I wasn't sure. But when I talked to the guy, he said he had stopped collecting back in like 2012, so I knew they weren't any new reissues. And this album and the next one have been bootleg. They haven't really been reissued, except for this one, I think. But Pantera, Projects in the Jungle, of course, their second album on Metal Magic Records, the record label by Dime and Vinnie Paul's dad, his record label. But this is an original pressing. I'll go ahead and show the record because this one's pretty special. The cover's pretty beat. Whoever had this before drew mustaches and stuff on the back cover. But yeah, this is on the original yellow label, and it's the translucent copy. So not sure what I'm going to do with these, because this album in particular I've never really heard, so I'll probably end up keeping it because I love early Pantera. That's my favorite. I don't like the later stuff that they did. I mean, of course it's great, but it's just, I've never been a huge thrash fan, so for me it just doesn't do it. But this early glam stuff is killer. So there's that one, and then a copy of I Am the Night. Once again, original. This isn't a bootleg or anything. This is a solid original copy, and it has the original inner sleeve. And this one also came with the Pantera fan club insert, so that's pretty killer to still have that. And the record itself, I'll show you this one. This one just has a black label. Unfortunately, this one, and it's translucent as well, I just saw that. Unfortunately, this one has some scratches, but it does play fine with, just the occasional ticks and pops. But, with metal music, it's you can get past that. It's not like you're listening to a slow instrumental piano solo, then you really notice it. Like on some jazz stuff, if you've got a scratched copy, you're screwed. But this one plays great. So, this one I will for sure be keeping. The other one, Projects in the Jungle, I'm not sure yet. I might keep, I might sell it. I don't know. I need to give that album a listen and decide. Okay, and then on to the other stuff that I will be selling for sure. This was some of the stuff that, this stuff right here that I'm about to show paid for, well, the two Panteras basically paid for the collection, but this stuff really paid for the collection. We've got a 10-inch picture disc, Cradle of Filth, some stuff. I've never heard them, so I don't know what that is, but I'll be selling that for sure. Then we have a Slipknot 7-inch duality, I don't know, on red vinyl. Not a Slipknot fan. Then we have Dream Theater, Systematic Chaos, gatefold with the insert, the lyric thing and everything. And this is an original, it's not an original copy, it's a reissue, but it's from 2007. Or maybe it is an original copy. Like I said, all these were either reissues or early 2000s, or original copies or early 2000s reissues. Then we have Lamb of God, Ashes of the Wake, original copy here. This one has been reissued, but this is an original 2004 copy. Then we have Lamb of God again with Wrath. Once again, the original 2009 copy. And I guess this guy liked this album because he's got the box set that comes with the album, and then the CD and the USB drive. Show it right there. It's pretty cool. It's not worth a whole lot, but you know, it's still something. Then we've got Iron Maiden. This is a 10-inch, the reincarnation of Benjamin Brigg. I don't know, but this is an original copy of this from 2006, and it's on clear vinyl. And the back side, the B side, has some live studio versions of songs. So that one I might keep, but it does have some value. Then we have Metallica Kill 'Em All. This is the 2008 Warner Brothers reissue. That's the half-speed master, and you know, this is like a $50-$75 album because it's still sealed. This one's still sealed. A lot of these albums were still sealed. The Ride the Lightning, the same thing. 2008 Warner Brothers half-speed master, still sealed. Then we have one of the 2008 remasters of Master of Puppets, but this one is open, but it's mint. It looks like it was hardly ever played, probably played once. Then we have Garage Inc. by Metallica, the 3-album set in a gatefold. This is an original 1998 pressing. This isn't a reissue. Unfortunately, it is the copy. I don't know if you're familiar with this. There's a mispress where side 2 of the second album plays too fast, and it sounds funky. And this, unfortunately, is that mispress. But this is still a pretty rare album, as is. And then we have Reload by Metallica. This is an original first copy from 1997, not a reissue. So, you know, this is a solid $100 album right there. And it's in the shrink. This one blew me away. It's Liquid Tension Experiment. Didn't know what this was. You know, I recognized the name Mike Portnoy and John Petrucci. And yeah, so I looked this up on Discogs, and let's just say this alone paid for the whole collection almost. Because there's an original version, which is super rare, and then this is a reissue from 2008. It originally came out in 98, and this one is on green and purple vinyl. There's the green. I won't pull out the other one because it'll take too much time, but it's just a clear vinyl. But yeah, this blew me away, and I don't know. I might listen to it. I don't plan on keeping it since it's worth so much. Then last but not least, I can't talk today. It's been a while since I've made a video, so this is just a little weird. But anyway, this guy must have been a big fan of the band Opeth, or if you say it different, I don't know. But there's several of their albums in here. The first one is this picture disc of, I forget what album this is, Deliverance. And this is 2 picture discs. This is an original copy from Sweden from 2002 or 2004. But anyway, it's a picture disc. It's pretty rare. All this stuff is pretty rare. We've got the same band, Opeth, Ghost Reveries, still sealed, 2 LP set from 2005. This is an original pressing. And we have some reissues, but they're from, I'm not sure. But they're these 180 gram gatefold, you know, all that stuff. Reissues of Blackwater Park, still sealed as well. This is just a band I've never heard of, or I've heard of them, but I've never listened to, so I don't plan on keeping these, especially since they have some value to them. Then we have the album Damnation, once again, still sealed. And then last but not least, we have a copy of Morning Rise. This one is not sealed, but it's in really nice shape, other than the cover coming apart right there. But, you know, I can use some super glue and glue that back together. But, yeah. So, yeah, that was my haul. Pretty epic, if you ask me. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Y'all might think it wasn't that epic, but, you know, just to find some of this stuff in the wild, basically, is pretty killer, especially for the price I paid, $2 a piece for all this stuff. You won't find this stuff anywhere for that price, but yeah, so I will go ahead and end this video. Sure, it's pretty long. But yeah, take care. God bless. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.